Hello everyone, I am Bets Golden. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to walk you through my process of how I decide what to create in my art journal. I get a lot of questions on that, and to me, it's a wonderful way to try to work through some of my emotional things I'm going through, celebrate, recover from, deal with, whatever it is. And it also is a great way for me to use things in my stash. So I like to use things that I already have on hand. And we're going to go from a point of you already have somewhere in one of your art journals your background created. I always work off of backgrounds that I already have done. And the first thing I pick is a focal point. So I like to start to go through some of my items and just look at what I have. And this is an eye that I created, years ago, and I just love it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to put that in my art journal finally. It is on a thicker cardstock. It is a charcoal, so I'm going to have to seal it probably with my Mod Podge spray at the end, but that's totally okay. And then from there, you can start to pick out items that speak to you. Some of these items might include napkins that you have in your stash, anything you've created. This is a gel press pull that I created on just regular paper, like school paper. And then this is one of these stickers that I've had in my stash for a while. This is like one of my very favorites. It's an architectures. You can still find these, I think, at Michael's. They're, unfortunately, Canvas Core Brands went out of business, and so you really can't locate them much anymore. So like I said, I am digging deep in the stash. And then I have some more pulls that I did. I just thought these colors were really fabulous, along with this one. I love this one, and I'm just having them speak to me. So these are things I already have done. Then if you still are looking, it's nice to use things from stuff you might have around the house. So a newspaper or junk mail or a magazine. I would pull out a magazine, but I don't have one. And then if you're still struggling, you can always order collage collections or collage sheets. Dina Wakley Media. This one is absolutely beautiful. It's actually hard to pull apart. But with that being said, I'm going to use this page right here on mine. I'm going to pull it out so I commit to it right now. Yeah, but these are hard to rip from because you kind of want to put them on the coffee table and show them off, and they're her artwork, but this is one I want to do, and it's because of that saying right there, you are infinite, get out of your own way. Love that. Thought it would be perfect with the eye. And then also Dilutions. Diane Reevely has some of her collage sheets. These are wonderful on a really nice textured paper, nice weight. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you're interested, I will have the link provided down below so you can go check them out. But I did pull out some that speak to me, especially this one. I'm really loving the eye, the glasses, things like that. Okay, I like that eye right there. Digging on this eye, that eye, that eye. Am I going to use them all? Probably not. Really like those glasses. And then this little sheet right here I thought was cool. So once you figure out, and as you do this, you're going to start, your ideas are going to start to percolate in your head. And you're going to go, okay, I think I know what I want to do. I have an idea. And you're going to know what size art journal you want to work out of. Now, if you only have one art journal that you started, then obviously you're going to be in that. I have a couple to choose from. At first, I thought I was going to be in this little one. Then I thought I was going to be in this bigger one. But then I remembered that we had done some backgrounds in here, and I thought, well, I want to pull from the backgrounds that we have done in here in the previous videos. So I was looking through, and this is the first one, and I thought, well, not quite bright enough, not quite what I'm going for. And then I saw this one, and I thought, well, that would be really cool, but it's a little bit too much with what I want. This one might work. Still not entirely happy. Then I was like, this is the one. I love this one. And then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, with as much as I want to put on this art journal page, I don't want to hide too much of that background because I really like it. So you guys, when you're creating backgrounds, don't do it so well that you fall in love with it, because when you go to create on it, it's going to be hard because you like it so much you don't want to cover it up. I mean, this is one of those backgrounds where I could technically just put a title on or sentiment on and maybe one little thing and walk away. So don't get so caught up in your backgrounds and making them beautiful that you don't want to create on them, because that's all they are, is a background. This one I did with Diane Reevely at Creativation. She walked me through on that one. Not exactly what I'm looking for this one, but I'm not so much in love with it that I would feel bad if I created on it. This is actually a complete page that I did with Diane at Creativation. And let's see here. This one also is another page that I did with her at Creativation. And then we have this page. Really like that. Not in love with it, which is a good thing, but it's not what I'm looking for, all right? Like that one too. That one's kind of fun. We did that one together, you and I, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Ooh, loving this one. This might be the winner. This one, like that one better. And then this one was the one I started and I ended up not liking, and I stopped the video and I started again. And you know what? I'm going to use this one. And the reason, so this is a background that's not even complete. The reason why I'm using this is because I really want to add lots of layers to this, and I'm going to cover up the majority of it anyway. So it would be a waste of my time to actually complete this background, and it's just enough to get started as a base. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I want to do, come back and show you. I've selected my first base, and what I mean by that is I'm going to work in threes. So I want to get some stuff around the edges, and I've selected this strip that I tore off from that pull that I did on the school paper. I really like this editor's note, so to speak, out of the paper. And then, so this is off of the ruled paper. This is out of the newspaper. And then this section of the napkin I really like. But when you're using a napkin, you're gonna wanna make sure that you take off that last layer. So there's 2 layers, and you wanna take that one off, discard it, and then this is the one that you're gonna lay out. And I'm actually going to lay the napkin down over this piece once I get it laid. And I'm going just to be using a gel medium. This is a soft gel matte medium. It's by Dina Wakley. You don't have to use this. I like this. I think it really holds everything nicely for this layer. You could use something like this, which is the diary glue stick, or you could use a glue stick like this. This one is actually out of Italy. The mixed media adhesive would work well. You would want to use a liquid adhesive, and depending on the thickness, you would want to thin it out with a little bit of water. You could even use like Elmer's glue or school glue and thin it out with some water. The reason why I'm using the gel medium on this and not the glue stick is because glue sticks tend to not work so well with the napkin. I suppose if I were to put the glue stick down first and place it on, that would be okay, but it's gonna stay tacky, and if I don't adhere anything else around the edges of this, that could be a little bit of a problem. So I am going to do the gel medium, because if I apply this down, so I'm just gonna do that right now with you. So I'm just gonna take my gel medium and I'm just going to lay it out on some areas. And this is cool because it acts as a sealer and then also as an adhesive. So this first layer that I'm doing right here, I got on the edge, whoopsie. I'm going to just use it as an adhesive. And even if I don't use all of that, it's totally fine. So I'm gonna just place this down off to the edge like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and just place that napkin that I have already done up here. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I get some adhesive up there as well. And as you can tell, I'm going over it with my spatula. I don't necessarily have to go over all of it, but I am going over some of it just to make sure I have adhesive so that it does adhere nicely to the next layer. And then I'm just going to put this one down. And I do want that one to be almost on the edge. That's how I'm vibing this page today. And then boom, and as you can tell, and I do like to take a little bit and just flatten it out. And see, you can totally see through that napkin. And this works on any napkin that you have in your stash. Now it will tear because it is fragile, but that's okay. I just kind of move it around, tear it off. It gives it more of an organic look, and just continue to press it down. See, so that tore too. I'm not being very gentle right now, but there you go. And so that's how you can lay out your thinner type substrates on your art journal page. And then last but not least, I'm going to take my editor's notes from the newspaper. And for this one, I don't have to necessarily use this gel medium. I can go ahead and use a glue stick. If you're going to use a regular glue stick, you just want to make sure that it's warmed up, kind of, I think. So I always like to spread it out and just make sure it's nice and warmed up, you know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but her glue sticks, the Diane Reevely ones, work really, really well. But that one from Italy that I showed you, this one is freaking amazing. It is made for collages. It is fantastic, and I got that from my local craft store. So I can link all of that down below for you. All right, so let's see here. So this one, I'm just going to put roughly down on the bottom over here, close to the bottom, like so, and then voila, and it sticks great. So now I'm going to work on the next 3 layers of this. All right, I've gone ahead and I've cut out some things, and I always like to work in 3s in my head. Like, what's the next 3 things until I get to a point where I have a nice collage built and then I can pare it down. That's just kind of my weird thing, I know. But this eye definitely has to be the feature. So I tore it down because I wanted the editorial note there. And then this is super important to me. This title, You Are Infinite, Get Out of Your Own Way. So that needs to go with my eye, all right? So I'm just going to layer that down like so. And then the next thing that caught my eye was this collage by Dilutions. I just love it. So I wanted that over here, but I don't want it to interfere with this. This is the first thing that I drew, like for real, with charcoal. And so I just love it. And I don't want to hide any of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down like so nothing is intruding, so to speak, and I can cut some of this off over here. Now you notice that by doing so, I ended up covering almost all of this piece, but I'm okay with that because that's part of the process, right? Okay, so those are my 3 pieces down. Now, I'm not going to glue them down yet because I'm noticing that I'm gonna probably wanna put things under this piece. So I need to get it laid out. So I'm like, well, what's the next 3 pieces that I can do? Now, the first thing that caught my eye as I was cutting this out was if I, and I don't know about you, but I doubt myself all the time. So I really want this if I down, just so it can be like, if I, like that seed of doubt is coming into my head. And then it's like, all of a sudden, the universe speaks, God speaks, whatever. And it's like, you are infinite, get out of your own way. Like that, I didn't think I could draw that, okay? I had to get out of my own way, and I was doing the if game. So I want this represented here. represented as well somewhere on the page. So I know that I have to include this. I'm going to set this aside knowing that that's going to be important because that's where I started. That's the self-doubt. And then this is what I ended with, in which I was able to create that eye. I don't know if that makes too much sense, but I get kind of deep when I do my art journaling. So I decided, well, circles are always a good thing. So I decided, okay, I'm going to cut out some circles and place some circles. So I'm like, well, that circle's cute there. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. And I wanted to do a lot. I love the eyes that are in this collage pack, but it would be too many. So I just wanted 2 eyes. So I'm like, okay, so that one can go there. So I'm just laying things out. And then I'm like, well, this one should go down here. And actually, no, I think I want this one right here, like so. All right, so I'm just laying it all out, getting it where I want it to be. And it's like, all right, well, I still have a blank spot up there. So I found this heart on my desk. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That's super cute. I can put that right there. That fits in really well. And then I need to figure out, okay, the if I, that is where I can put the if I. And then I had this little extra piece that I could put somewhere if I want to. I'm just going to hold it off to the side. So now at this point, I feel pretty good about it. The last thing I want to lay down is this sticker, but I'm going to wait until the end because I kind of want that to go over some places. And since it's bulky, I don't want to glue things down to it. Now, you may be going, okay, so how are you going to glue that down and get it all roughly where it's going to go? Well, if you really are concerned with it, at this point, you could snap a picture of it with your phone and then refer back. I like to wing it more, and so I kind of remember where everything goes, so I'm going to just take everything off and put it on. The glue that I'm going to use for this is going to just be the diary glue again. So glue stick for these is perfectly fine. It's going to hold just fine. All right, so I'm going to get it down and then we'll finish up the page together. All right, I went ahead and got that all glued down. Now I'm going to move on to the next steps. And I was originally going to put this down here, but then I'm like, you know what? That's kind of an odd place. So I'm going to pop that right there. And then I have this piece that I really like. And so I'm just going to pop that piece right there. From there, I'm going to go ahead and use these paint over pens. These are my very favorite colored pens to use in an art journal over paint. They work wonderful, better than anything else I have used out there. And I'm going to highlight like the circles with these. And then with this, I'm going to just cut this up. I'm not going to use the whole thing. And I'm going to put like 3 pieces down randomly on the page. To finish off the page, I went around with the paint over markers and alternating colors between that really pretty bright blue and pink. And I just highlighted some of these pieces that I wanted to pop. Then from there, I took out this Foodball 1.5 pen, which is a great pen for writing on, journaling on, and it does great over paint. And I just went around and did some doodling. Hindsight 2020, not my favorite thing I've done, but oh well, moving on, it's done. And then from there, I added some bits of those stickers that I had. And the page is done. It is an art journal collage page. So this is just, I hope that this gives you some inspiration, some ideas on how to start your own page. Don't be scared if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, the way you thought it would turn out, or if you're like, oh my gosh, I hate it. Because at the end of the day, it's an art journal. I like to look at art journal not as like a piece of work, but as work in progress. And so I either learn something from it or I'll come back to it and continue to work on it. It's just a way for me to play, learn techniques, and get a little bit of confidence and work through some emotions. So like a lot of people don't want to art journal because they're so scared of messing up, and there's really no way to mess up. All right, you guys, I hope that you found this video beneficial. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you like it. And then if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And of course, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out, and I would love to have you part of my creative journey. Until next time, I'm Betsy Golden. Happy crafting.